you guys. Today we're going to cover lesson 6.2, convert units of capacity. We're going to start on textbook page 223. So again, I'm Mr. Hassan. This is lesson 6.2, convert units of capacity, and we're going to start on page 223. I'm going to refocus the camera onto the textbook. See you guys in a minute. Alright, so here we are on page 223, lesson 6.2. Let's look at the top. Capacity measures the amount a container can hold when filled. In the customary measurement system, some common units of capacity are fluid ounces, cups, pints, quarts, and gallons. You can convert between units by multiplying the given units by an appropriate conversion factor. And if we look over here on page 223, they have all of the conversion rates listed for us. 8 fluid ounces, and the abbreviation for that is FLOZ, which is different from weight, customary units of mass, where we would say just ounces. So that can get a little bit confusing. When we talk about liquids, we're talking about fluid ounces. When we're talking about the mass of something, how much something weighs, then we're talking about just ounces. But anyway, when we're talking about capacity, we talk about fluid ounces. So 8 fluid ounces equals 1 cup, 2 cups equals 1 pint, 2 pints equals 1 quart, 4 cups equals 1 quart, and 4 quarts equals 1 gallon. I'm sure many of you in your past academic experiences have made maybe gallon man, and that's what this conversion chart here refers to, all the different conversion rates for units of capacity. So I'm going to slide the book up here and we can take a look at the first problem we're going to solve together. Each dairy cow in the United States produces, on average, 25 quarts of milk per day. How many gallons of milk does a cow produce each day? Let's take a look at the green box. How are quarts and gallons related? Well, quarts and gallons are related because 1 gallon equals 4 quarts. Why can you multiply a quantity by 1 gallon over 4 quarts without changing the value of the quantity? So that's what we're actually going to do below to help us solve this problem. We're going to convert gallons to quarts by multiplying by this unit rate, 1 gallon over 4 quarts. And we can do that because of the identity property of multiplication. And I'm just going to put an X for multiplication because I'm running out of room there. And what the identity problem tells us is that when we multiply something by 1, its value does not change. And so watch. If I have 1 gallon, and that equals 4 quarts, it means, or so, 1 gallon over 4 quarts would be equal to 1. So anytime we multiply something by a unit rate, we're actually multiplying it by 1. So let's take a look at how that works. To solve this problem up above about the dairy cow and how much milk they produce, we're going to convert 25 quarts to gallons. So we need to choose a conversion factor. And we have to remember or think, I'm converting gallons from quarts. Well, 1 gallon equals 4 quarts, so we're going to use the unit rate, 1 gallon over 4 quarts. So here it is, 25 quarts times 1 gallon over 4 quarts is equal to the same thing as putting 25 quarts over 1 times 1 gallon over 4 quarts. Here, our quarts cancel one another out. So that means we're left with 25 times 1 and 1 times 4. Now the book kind of skipped a step here. So let's see what happens when we do that. Well, that means we're going to have 25 over 4, and we have to convert that from an improper fraction to a mixed number. And the way that we would do that is bring 25 down into my division symbol here and divide. Well, 4 goes into 25 6 times. 6 times 4, 24, minus 25, or 25 minus 24 is 1. So I'm left with 6 and 1/4 gallons. Now, what the textbook did was they took this one step further. They took 6 and 1/4 gallons and they broke it down into gallons and quarts. Since we know 4 quarts would give us a gallon, the fraction, something over 4, can easily be converted to quarts. Because if I had 1 out of the 4 quarts, well, that would be 1 quart, and then my whole number is the number of gallons that I have. So I have 6 gallons and 1 quart. And that's exactly what a cow produces. 6 gallons and 1 quart of milk each day. You can see where I filled that out at the bottom. So a cow produces 6 gallons and 1 quart of milk each day. All right, so I'm going to slide up here and solve a second part of the problem here. How many pints of milk does a cow produce? How many pints of milk does a cow produce each day? Choose a conversion factor. Think, I'm converting pints from quarts. So what they want us to do here is think 2 pints equals 1 quart. So we're going to use the rate 2 pints over 1 quart. We're going to multiply 25 quarts by the conversion factor. So 25 quarts, we're going to put 2 pints over 1 quart, which will equal, we could put 25 over 1 in order to multiply by my fractions. We're going to put 25 over 1 times 2 pints over 1 quart. Our quarts cancel out, we're left with pints, and now 25 times 2, as we all know, is 50. So a cow produces 50 pints of milk each day. All right, I'm going to refocus the camera on page 224. I'll see you guys in a minute. Okay, so let's take a look at the top of page 224. Let's read. Metric units. You can use a similar process to convert metric units of capacity. Just like metric units of length, metric units of capacity are related by powers of 10. Over here in my blue chart, they have all of our conversion rates. 1,000 milliliters equals 1 liter. 100 centiliters is 1 liter. 10 deciliters is 1 liter. 1 deciliter is 10 liters. 1 hectoliter is 100 liters, and 1 kiloliter is 1,000 liters. Again, very similar to when we talked about meters. All of the increments are in powers of 10. So when we think about it, all we have to do is move our decimal point, either left or right, whether we're multiplying or dividing. It's really going to come in handy if you have your conversion chart that we made last time. If not, push pause on the video and make yourself one. The M here in the middle stands for meters, the L stands for liters, and the G stands for grams. And then as we move to the right, we get smaller. Deci is 10 smaller than liters. Centa is 100 units smaller than liters, meters or grams. And milla is 1,000 units smaller than meters, liters, or grams. As we move to the left, things get larger. It takes 10 deca to get to 1 meter, or I'm sorry, there's 10 meters in 1 deca liter. There's 100 liters in a hectoliter, and there are 1,000 liters in a kiloliter. So again, things get larger as I move to the left, and things get smaller as I move to the right. All right, let's take a look and we'll see if we can't convert some of these. All right, so here's our example. A piece of Native American pottery has a capacity of 1.7 liters. What is the capacity of the pot in decaliters, and what is the capacity capacity in milliliters? So one way to use a conversion factor. I think this is the harder way to solve the problem, but I think it's also important to understand what we're doing here. And this is going to be very similar to how we solve standard units of capacity and convert those. So 1.7 liters equals blank decaliters. Well, 1 deciliter equals 10 liters, so we can use the rate 1 deciliter over 10 liters. And then here, what we're going to do is we're going to take our 1.7 liters, put it over 1, and multiply by that rate. 1 deciliter equals 10 liters. Liters cancel each other out, and now we're actually going to be dividing by 10. And because we're dividing by 10, our decimal point is going to move to the left. And our answer is going to be 0.17 deciliters. So 1.7 liters is equivalent to 0.17 or 1700ths deciliters. All right, let's slide the book up here and take a look at another way. And this is I feel like this is the easier way. And again, if you have your conversion chart, this is how we're going to solve all the problems when we start to practice these. So let's take a look. We're going to use powers of 10. Here we are at 1.7 liters equals blank milliliters. So the first thing that I do is I rewrite my number, 1.7. Now I have to go from liters to milliliters. So here's liters, and I have to get to milliliters. So what am I going to do? Well, I'm going to move 3 places to the right. 1, 2, 3. So that's exactly what I'm going to do with my number 1.7 here, is I'm going to move my decimal point 3 places to the right. So let's do that by using the butt cheek method. 1, 2, 3. So I move my decimal point here, and for these blank spaces, I'm going to fill in with zeros. And that's going to be my answer, 1,700. So 1.7 liters is equivalent to 1,700 milliliters. All right, let's look at the problem on the bottom. Describe how you would convert kiloliters to milliliters. How would I convert kiloliters to milliliters? Well, I would count how many places and which direction I would need to go on my conversion chart. So to convert kiloliters to milliliters, I need to move my decimal point 3 places to the right. So that's what I would do. I would move my decimal point 3 places to the right. Oh, that's incorrect. I'm sorry, I read the problem wrong. Not 3 places. I went from kiloliter to liter. We need to go from kiloliter to milliliter. That's going to be 6 places. Watch. Kiloliter to milliliter is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Just wanted to see if you guys were paying attention. So I'm going to erase my 3 here and change it to a 6. All right. That's the end of page 224. I'm going to refocus my book, and I'll meet you guys on page 225. See you in a minute. right, so here we are on page 225, share and show. It says convert the given unit. Number 1, 5 quarts equal blank cups. So we need to use a conversion factor here. And our conversion factor is that there are 4 cups in 1 quart. An important thing to remember is whatever unit you're trying to move away from, you always want to put that unit in your denominator so that we can cancel it out when we set up our problem. And you can see that's exactly what the textbook did here on the next line of our problem. 5 quarts over 1 times 4 cups over 1 quart. Well, our quarts are going to cancel out. We're going to be left with cups, and 5 times 4 is 20. Now, some of you may be wondering, yeah, but Mr. Hassan, what about 1 times 1? Well, that would give me 20 over 1, and we all know that anytime we have a number over the number 1, that number in our numerator just is our whole number. All right, let's look at number 2. Number 2 says 6.7 liters equals blank hectoliters. So the first thing I'm going to do is rewrite my number, 6.7, and I also recognize that this was a metric problem. So I'm going to take my chart and I'm going to look at it. I need to go from liters to hectoliters. Well, here's liters, and I need to get here to hectoliters. So I'm going to move 2 places to the left. 1, 2. I'm going to do the exact same thing with my decimal point. Here's my decimal point. I'm going to move 2 places to the left. 1, 2. And that becomes my answer. 0 and 67 thousandths hectoliters. Let's look at number 3. Number 3 says 5.7 kiloliters equals blank liters. This is a metric problem, so I'm going to rewrite my number, 5.3. I'm going to get my chart out. I need to go from kiloliters to liters. Well, here's kiloliters. I need to get to liters. So I'm going to move how many spaces to the right? 1, 2, 3. So that's exactly what I'm going to do with my problem. I've got 5.3 here, and I'm going to move my decimal point 3 places to the right. 1, 2, 3. And my number is 5,300 liters. All right, number 4 says 36 quarts equals blank gallons. Now this is a standard unit of capacity, so I've got to know what my rate is, my unit rate or my conversion rate. So I'm going from 36 quarts, I'm going to put that over 1, and I'm going to multiply by gallons over quarts, because I want quarts to cancel out and I want to leave off with gallons. So there are 4 quarts in 1 gallon. My quarts cancel each other out, and now I can cross simplify. I know that 36 is a multiple of 4. 4 goes into 4 1 time, and 4 goes into 36 9 times. So I've got 1 times 1 here in my denominators and 9 times 1 in my numerators, and that equals 9. And I'm left with gallons, so I've got 9 gallons. So 36 quarts equals 9 gallons. Let's look at number 5 here. Number 5 says 5,000 milliliters equals blank centiliters. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to rewrite 5,000. And you have to be careful where you place your decimal point here. A lot of students, for some reason, like to put the decimal point here. But that doesn't equal 5,000. If we look at that number now, the answer is that's 0.5. That's only 1/2. And that's a lot different than 5,000. Remember, whenever we have a whole number, our decimal point always goes all the way to the right. All right, so we need to go from milliliters to centiliters. So let's get my chart out. Here's my chart. I need to go from milliliters to centiliters. So I need to move 1 place to the left. Here's my decimal point. I'm going to move 1 place to the left, and I'm left with 500 centiliters. All right, I'm going to slide my book up here. I'll see you in a second. Okay, let's look at on your own. Number 6, it takes 41 gallons of water for an average washing machine to wash a load of laundry. How many quarts of water does it take to wash one load? So again, this is a standard unit of capacity that we're trying to, or a customary unit of capacity that we're trying to convert. And so we need to use a conversion rate. So I'm going to start with my 41 gallons. I'm going to put that over 1, and I'm going to multiply. We're trying to get to quarts, and we're trying to get rid of gallons. So we're going to have quarts over gallons. Well, we know there are 4 quarts in 1 gallon. So here I'm just going to multiply 41 times 4, and my answer is 41 times 4 is 164. And my gallons cancel out, and I'm left with quarts. So I have 164 quarts. All right, let's look at number 7. Number 7, Sam squeezed 237 milliliters of juice from 4 oranges. How many liters of juice did Sam squeeze? All right, well, I'm going to take my 237, I'm going to rewrite that. Remember, that's a whole number, so my decimal point is going to be all the way to the right. And I'm going to go from milliliters to liters. So I'm going to get my chart out again. Here's my chart. I need to go from milliliters to liters. So I have to go left 1, 2, 3 places. So that's exactly what we're going to do. Here's my decimal point. I'm going to move it 3 places to the left. 1, 2, 3. And so my answer is 0 and 237 thousandths liters. All right, let's take a look at number 8. Anthony filled a bottle with 3 7/8 liters of water. How many deciliters of water are in the bottle? All right, so I'm going to take my number, 3 7/8 liters. And I need to go from liters to deciliters, so let's get out my chart again. Here's liters. I need to go from liters to deciliters, so I'm going to go 1 place to the right. Here's my decimal point. Let's move it 1 place to the right. And my answer becomes 37 8/10 deciliters. All right, let's look at number 9. Number 9 says, a recipe calls for 16 ounces of milk. If Tanya is going to triple the recipe, how many cups of milk will she need? Well, she starts with 16 ounces, but she's tripling the recipe. So what that means is she's taking 16 and multiplying it by 3. She's taking those 16 ounces and she's going to multiply it by 3. So 16 ounces times 3 is going to give me 48 ounces. Now I need to take those ounces and turn them into cups. Well, now we need to multiply by our conversion rate. So 48 ounces, and this is fluid ounces. I should probably be writing FLOZ for fluid ounces so we don't get confused. I'm going to put that over 1 and multiply. We want to end up with cups, so my cups goes on top and my fluid ounces goes on the bottom. Well, there are 8 fluid ounces in every 1 cup, and now we can multiply. Fluid ounces cancels each other out. I'm left with cups, so I can put my C over here. Oh, we can't really see that. Let me slide over. And then we know that 48 is a multiple of 8. 8 goes into 8 1 time, and 8 goes into 48 6 times. So that gives me 6 cups. All right, I'm going to slide up here a little bit so we can see the bottom of our book. And we're just about finished with this lesson. In this section, we need to convert, we need to compare, the different units. Now the problem is none of the units match up. Like in this number 10 here, I have liters and I have kiloliters. Unfortunately, we can't compare liters to kiloliters. We have to pick one and we have to convert it to the same unit of measure so that we can compare them. So here I have 700,000 liters, and over here I have 70 kiloliters. I'm going to convert liters to kiloliters in this problem. So let's take a look at my chart. I need to go from liters to kiloliters. So I know I need to move left 1, 2, 3 places. So let's do that. Here's my 700,000. Here's my decimal point. I'm going to move 3 places to the left. 1, 2, 3. And now I have 700 kiloliters. Well, 700 kiloliters is larger or greater than 70 kiloliters. Let's look at number 11. Number 11 says 6 gallons is greater than, less than, or equal to 30 quarts. What do I want to do here? I'm going to convert gallons to quarts. So let's do that. Let's use our rate here. So I've got 6 gallons times, I want to get to quarts, and I want to be over gallons so I can cancel my gallons out. So I've got 6 gallons over 1 times, well, there's 4 quarts in 1 gallon. Gallons cancel each other out. 6 times 4 gives me 24. Oh, we're over here, sorry. 6 gallons equals 24 quarts. So, therefore, since 6 gallons equals 24 quarts, well, 24 quarts is less than 30 quarts. All right, let's take a look at number 12. Number 12 says 54 kiloliters is greater than, less than, or equal to 540,000 deciliters. So in this one, I'm going to convert deciliters to kiloliters. In order to do that, I need my chart. Here's deciliters. I need to go from deciliters to kiloliters. So I need to go 1, 2, 3, 4 places to the left. Let's take a look at my deciliters here. Here's my decimal point. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's going to leave me with 54 kiloliters. And so therefore, 54 kiloliters is going to be equal to. They're the same amount. All right, let's take a look at number 13. 13 says 10 pints is greater than, less than, or equal to 5 quarts. Here, I'm going to convert quarts to pints. Since quarts is larger than pints, it's going to be a multiplication problem. And my rate is going to be 5 quarts over 1 times pints over quarts. We want quarts on the denominator so that we can cancel those out, and we want the pints in the numerator because we want to be left off with pints. So how many pints are in a quart? Well, there's 2 pints in 1 quart. Quarts cancel each other out. 5 times 2 is 10. So therefore, 5 quarts is equal to 10 pints. So therefore, 13 is equal to 10 pints is equal to 5 quarts because 5 quarts is equal to 10 pints. All right, number 14. I've got 500 milliliters is greater than, less than, or equal to 50 liters. So here, I'm going to convert milliliters to liters. So I'm going to rewrite my number, 500. And I need to go from milliliters to liters. So here's milliliters. I need to go 1, 2, 3 places to the left. So here's my decimal point. 1, 2, 3 places to the left. And I'm left with 0.500 liters. Well, 50 liters is much greater than 0.5 liters. So therefore, 500 milliliters is less than 50 liters. Number 15, the last one that we're going to do today. Let's take a look. 15 says 14 cups is greater than, less than, or equal to 4 quarts. So I'm going to take quarts and I'm going to convert that to cups because I know it's a multiplication problem. I'm going from a larger unit of measure to a smaller unit of measure. So let's rewrite 4 quarts here, put it over 1, and we're going to multiply that by cups over quarts. Well, how many cups are in a quart? There are 4 cups in 1 quart. Quarts cancel each other out, and therefore I have 16 cups. So 4 quarts equals 16 cups. Therefore, 14 cups is going to be less than 4 quarts. Alright, that wraps up lesson 6.2, convert units of capacity. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll see you guys next week when we convert units of mass. Have a great one, guys. Mr. Hassan signing out.